Hi everyone, it's Suzanne here, and today I just want to share with you another project I've been working on with the August kit from Aunty Vera Scrap and Craft. So what I made this time, because the theme was going on a bear hunt, I made some little baskets. So I made 3. And this is the biggest one here, and it's made using my Sizzix die. This is a lorry whitlock. It's called Basket, and I've used some of the paper from the August kit to make that basket. I also made this very tiny one, and this is made from, this is a die I got from AliExpress. You cut it out twice, glue it together, and it makes that. It's really cute. And this last one is just made using your scoreboard and scissors. So this is the one I'm going to show you how to make this one today. It's really simple. So the first thing you need to do is cut a 6x6 piece of paper. So this paper is part of the Weekend Adventures paper in the August kit. So you need one piece 6x6. You need 2 handles, which are 6 inches by ½ an inch, and punch some holes in each end, and also 2 1¼ inch circles. That's all you need to make that basket. And we're going to do some scoring and cutting. So I'm going to have the yellow as the outside, so I'm going to score on the opposite. So because it's 6x6, I'm going to score at 2 and 4 and turn it 90 degrees and do the same thing. 2 and 4. Okay, I can put that away now. Now we have to do some cutting, but before we cut, we're going to do a bit of measuring. So we're going to be cutting these score lines, but we're also going to be cutting halfway, so at 1 inch and 1 inch. Oh, there's some of my hair, and to the other side as well. Same thing, score, mark the 1 inch mark, and then we're going to cut that. You could probably eyeball it, but I'm not that good at doing that. So just from the score line out to the edge. Okay, so we're going to cut the score lines just up to the where they meet. And then this part that we marked. And again. Same thing to the other side. Do your score marks. It's really hard to see it on this paper, but it's a fairly simple process. And it doesn't have to be super perfect, because a lot of it you won't see once you've folded it up. Okay, so that's all the cuts for those parts, but we need to also mark the center here, right on the edge, because, gosh, that's hard to see when it reflects back like that. We have to mark from the middle down to the corner. And again, if you're got a better eye than me, you could just eyeball it, but trust me, if I just eyeballed that, it would be a complete mess. It would be nowhere near right if I didn't draw lines. Okay. Gosh, I can't even see that. It's there somewhere. I think I need new glasses. Okay, so we're going to cut those parts off. And one last thing to cut off. So we're just going to take about 1/4 of an inch off these inside flaps off the ends, and I wouldn't worry too much about measuring it. Just want to take a little, about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 centimetre, something like that, off each of those. Okay, that's what it should look like. Now you want to give it a crease on all of those score lines. And we're going to join these, the outside ones. We're going to join them. I'm going to use my art glitter glue because it dries nice and quickly, and just pop a little bit. You could use tape runner if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter how much it overlaps. It's up to you. You just have to try and make sure that both sides are much the same if you can. Same thing on this side. Bit of glue and join them over. Try and make sure they're about the same distance apart. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then these next ones, the ones that we cut, are going to come across like that. So a little bit of glue for those as well. You want them to just pop up over the edge a little bit like that. And then the triangle part is going to come up like so. I've probably used a bit too much glue, but that's okay. And you can see that they just come up over the edge a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to cut that off, and remember those little circles, they're going to cover that up. Okay, so over to the other side, a little bit of glue. take my own advice and use a little bit of glue. Okay, so again, folding them over and a bit on the triangle like so. So we're going to chop these bits that are hanging over, chop them off like that. That's inside your basket. The outside should look like that. Now we're going to use the little circles folded in half, and it just goes over here. It hides those if you've got messy edges like mine. So just making sure it's even, pop it on the side like that, and same to the other side. So, okay, now to add the little handles, I just used this punch I have. I don't know if it's a Fiskars, I'm not sure, not important. And I just put it here on this first flap about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch down like so. Oh gosh, that's nowhere near even, but you get the idea. So you just want it much the same place on either side. Punch your holes. And I've got some little brads here that I'm going to use to put my handles on with. They're probably a bit oversized for this project, but they'll do for the purpose of this demonstration. Okay, and over to this side. If you didn't want to worry about your handles being able to move, you could just glue them on, I suppose. But because they've got brads, they do move a little bit. Oops. Try putting the handle on first. You can also, shape your, if you wanted to, just give this a little rounding instead of it being square. Just take the corner off like so. I probably should have done that, but I can easily take them off and do that. Okay, and then also to give the basket a bit of depth, I get my distress ink and just give it a bit of going over so that on all the creases you can they show up a bit. So if I get my I've got some squeezed lemonade on my poor old thing. Let's just see if it, yeah, so if you just go along those edges, it just gives it a bit of depth, and like so, along all your creases. Probably should have done the handles before I put them on, but you get the idea. Just there you go. So it just gives a bit of depth once you've put that bit of distress ink along those raw edges. You could do that before you put it together too. Okay, so there you go. If you don't have a die to make a basket, it's very, very easy to make your own. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.